So I'm going to go into the 3 secrets. We all have these daily, I'll call them mind blocks, as Jim said, of feeling rejected and unloved. And I'll start with my own story. And I feel we all have a story, like Jim was saying, is when we're young, things happen to us, and then we create these feelings and we create these limiting beliefs that go through our lives with us, and we just keep believing them, never questioning them. And so as a kid, my mom passed away when I was 16 years old. And so you can imagine I felt rejected by my father, who was grieving, I had to take care of my brother. And these feelings and these stories went late into my 20s, and, sometimes they still show up. And so, after I researched and I did a lot of healing, I wanted to share some of the things that helped me on my journey towards feeling unloved and rejected, most of my childhood, after I had such traumatic experiences, which I know we all have. And so how do you get through these? And so the first thing I feel is really clarity and awareness in asking, do I love myself? So I want to ask you right now, do you love who you are? And back then, the answer for me was no. I felt broken. I felt lost. I felt like, who am I and why am I even here? And in going back to my teenage years, there was times when I just wanted to end my life because I felt so rejected and unlovable. And it was the worst feeling. So in bringing that clarity and awareness is, do I love who I am? Because if we can't love who we are, then how can anyone else love us? Because we're not putting out that energy. We're not putting out that vibe of, hey, I love who I am. So, I am open to everyone else's love. And so as that first secret is, really ask yourself, do you love yourself? And if not, what are some things you can start doing? So I know one thing that really helped me in slowly learning to love who I am, because it doesn't happen overnight. Once you feel shitty and you feel awful about yourself, it's not like, oh, all of a sudden the next day, hey, I feel great. I love myself. I'm awesome. So it's just thinking every morning, 1 to 3 things that you're grateful for about yourself. So whether it's as simple as, hey, my heart's beating and I don't have to even think about it, and I'm alive and my lungs breathe air and I'm just here being who I am, just start doing those 3 things that make you grateful for yourself. The next thing is the secret number 2 that I found was rewinding that movie, going back to those stories, to those feelings. And I recently learned from a wonderful man named Kenny, who does a lot of men's work, that, we go back to the feelings. It's the stories, but it's mostly those feelings that we go back to. So our past experiences are kind of like a movie. We have the power, we have the remote control, and we can rewind, we can pause, we can stop, and we can fast forward. And so when those limiting beliefs come up, without judgment and curiosity, ask yourself, what feelings are coming up, whether it's anger, disgust, sadness, and then what experiences as a teen or maybe a child or young adult is this feeling coming from? And most likely they say that, before the age of 7, or when we create these beliefs and these stories that really hurt us because we don't understand. And so where is this coming from? And come from it from a place of curiosity. And that leads me into secret number 3, which is question everything. So go back to that story and be curious and ask yourself, am I the same person that I was back then? Am I that child? And what is different now? And really look back and go and question everything that happened and really go back to that story so you understand. And then also ask yourself, what do I know now that will help me feel different this time? So you are no longer that child. Address that child, give love to that child who was hurt, or that teen or that young adult, and really give them love, because that's who was hurt, and you're still in that place. You've brought that person with you. And so just showing them all that love and that compassion will help in healing a part of who you are. And those experiences, those opportunities are now used right now in this moment as an opportunity and knowledge to do things differently. You no longer have to keep living that story. So I wanted to give you an extra secret that I know is really powerful. And, you know, I really believe that taking inspired action, like I was talking about in step 1, is really moves you forward into getting out of that hamster wheel of those limiting beliefs that happen over and over in your head, because you need to change the story. And so without taking action, you know, again, you stay in those beliefs and you just continue repeating the same story, kind of like that hamster wheel. And so what is one action that you can take if you're feeling rejected and unlovable? What is one thing you can do, whether it's self-gratitude, whether it is maybe doing something for yourself, whatever that is, take that inspired action and appreciate something about yourself. Because I can tell you, being on this side of it, from going from feeling unloved and feeling broken and feeling like I wasn't worthy or like I was enough, to feeling like I do now, and really trying to help others and helping them feel loved and helping them feel wanted and not rejected, is when you really love yourself, when you begin to get on the other side of really appreciating who you are. I mean, we have this one lifetime, that's all we get right now. And so it's loving who you are, you start shining this beautiful light on other people. And, you know, and then the love starts coming in, and, you know, you accept yourself so much that other people's opinions no longer matter. And so in loving who you are, that is the first huge step to having others love you. And that is what I teach in my coaching when I coach men, is you guys need to love yourself first before a woman can love you. Because if you don't know how you like to be loved, if you don't know what it takes to be loved, how can you tell someone else? And how can you show someone else any kind of love? And so those people will be attracted to you, and you'll attract everyone that is meant for you. So now I would like to just really quickly review before my time's up. And so the first secret was really gaining clarity and awareness on loving yourself. And do you love who you are? And that's just being aware of that alone it begins the healing. The next thing is you want to rewind that movie and that story and just be curious. Don't judge yourself, just notice. And then the third thing was question everything about that story, because you're no longer that person. You are no longer that child, that teenager, that young adult that was wounded, that was hurt. You are now in charge and you have that power. And the fourth thing was take some kind of action, whether it's just as soon as you open your eyes in the morning, being like, I am so grateful for just breathing, or I am so grateful that, you know, my kid wakes me up and gives me lots of kisses, or, you know, I'm so grateful that my partner is next to me and that they love me. Just start doing self-gratitude and really appreciating who you are first before anything. Anyway, that is all I have to share today. And a way to find me as I do my men's coaching is you can find me on Facebook at Attract the Love You Crave. And then my website is attracttheloveyoucrave.com, all spelled out. And yeah, Jim, thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. And I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and to share my message and to maybe in some way impact someone else who isn't feeling loved or who's feeling rejected. So thank you so much, Jim.